Decades-long recovery predicted for nature following devastating impact of Tropical Storm Helene in western North Carolina. Western North Carolina's natural landscape has been deeply scarred by the effects of Tropical Storm Helene, and environmental experts warn that it could take decades for the region to fully recover. The powerful storm brought unprecedented rainfall, landslides, and severe flooding, leaving widespread damage to forests, rivers, and wildlife habitats that could take years, if not generations, to repair. When Tropical Storm Helene struck, it unleashed torrential downpours that saturated the mountainous terrain of the region. Rivers and streams overflowed, creating flash floods that washed away riverbanks, uprooted trees, and deposited debris across delicate ecosystems. The sudden surge of water also triggered landslides that tore through forests, destroyed trails, and buried key plant life that provided food and shelter for local wildlife. In many areas, topsoil and vegetation were completely washed away, leaving behind barren slopes that will need extensive rehabilitation to prevent further erosion. Ecologists are particularly concerned about the long-term effects on plant and animal species that rely on the region's unique biodiversity. Western North Carolina is known for its rich, diverse ecosystem, home to many rare and endangered species that are especially vulnerable to sudden environmental shifts. Wildlife biologists report that local populations of fish, birds, and amphibians may have been disrupted due to the habitat destruction and altered water quality. Fish species, especially those that require clean, cold water, are likely to suffer for years, as the silt and debris washed into rivers degrade the quality of their spawning grounds. Forest recovery may be among the slowest aspects of the healing process. Decades-old trees, which served as habitat and contributed to the region's stability, have been uprooted or damaged beyond recovery. Without the shade and shelter provided by mature trees, younger vegetation may struggle to regrow, especially in areas where nutrient-rich topsoil has been depleted. Reforestation efforts could be necessary in some of the most severely impacted areas, though it will take years before new trees mature enough to restore the forest canopy. The human communities in western North Carolina have also felt the impact, as the storm damaged infrastructure, roads, and properties. Hiking trails, campgrounds, and recreational sites have been closed due to safety concerns, impacting both the local economy and the tourism industry that depends on the region's natural beauty. Efforts are underway to assess and repair trails, bridges, and roads, but with the extent of the damage, it will likely take years before full access to these areas is restored. Environmental organizations, local governments, and volunteers are coming together to help restore the region. Plans for restoration projects are in motion, focusing on reducing erosion, replanting vegetation, and stabilizing riverbanks. However, nature's recovery from such a large-scale disturbance is inherently slow, and experts caution that immediate improvements will likely be limited to stabilizing the most vulnerable areas. True ecological healing, they say, will only happen gradually over time. In the coming months and years, researchers will monitor the region's recovery to better understand how such events affect the environment and what can be done to mitigate similar impacts in the future. While the scars left by Tropical Storm Helene will remain visible for some time, environmentalists are hopeful that with dedicated efforts, the unique landscape of western North Carolina will eventually heal, restoring the region's rich biodiversity for future generations to enjoy.